Speaker for the afternoon is Sister Jackie Hudson. Jackie is a core member of the Ground Zero Center for Nonviolent Action. 2002, am I right? Jackie and two other religious sisters poured their own blood and hammered on the lid of a Minuteman III silo in Greeley, Colorado, in an action named Sacred Earth and Space Plowshares. For this courageous witness, Jackie spent 2.5 years in federal prison. Today, she and Sue Blau live in the Ground Zero house in Paulsbo on property which shares a fence with the Bangor Trident submarine base. There she continues to dedicate her life to nuclear abolition. Jackie will tell us about the work of Ground Zero, so please welcome Sister Jackie Hudson.
It's so wonderful to see all of you here today, and there is such a tremendous need to be here today and to be in the streets. There are hundreds of thousands in the streets of New York City today, so we are in solidarity with that group, calling in front of the United Nations, where the Non-Proliferation Treaty Review Conference will be taking place through the entire month of May. And they are marching, they are standing, they are cheering, they are wanting and desperately demanding that we do something about nuclear disarmament, and do it now. And this is the time. If it doesn't happen now, we are going to be set back terrible, terrible distances. So it is so important that we keep up the pressure right at this moment. If we look right over the water here, on this side of the mountains that you can sort of see among the clouds, rests Bangor Submarine Base. Bangor Submarine Base is where Ground Zero shares a fence. Their backyard is their front yard, as it were. There are two of these nuclear submarine bases in this country, one at Kings Bay, Georgia, and the one here at Bangor. We house in Homeport 8 nuclear Trident submarines, which have the Trident missile system, which carries the D5 missile. And the D5 missile, I think Dave spoke earlier about, has from 6 to 8 warheads on each of those 24 missiles. Now, if we do the math, if we have 8 Tridents carrying 24 D5 missiles, we have a blow-up model, as you've seen carried today. In that nose cone, there are 6 to 8 individually targeted nuclear warheads. So we have 8 Trident subs, 24 missiles. That means 192 nuclear delivery systems right here, almost within view, less than 20 miles from where we are standing. Those 192 delivery systems, if they only have 6 weapon or warheads on them, would allow for 1,152 cities to be obliterated any place in this anywhere in the world. And that is the firepower of this nuclear base sitting here in our midst, here in Washington State. Ground Zero has been founded and has continually worked since 1977 to say no to this system. And we continue to say no to this system. If you saw at our table, there are several events lined up in connection with the Non-Proliferation Treaty Review Conference in New York City happening. And most of them are happening right this week. And so I would urge you, first of all, set your alarms for tomorrow morning. We are having an action at the base gate at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. We're meeting at Ground Zero, and we'll walk then to the gates and say no to the workers as they are approaching their workplace on Monday morning. So 5 o'clock on this side is too early for you to make it, we invite you to come spend the night with us. We have a brand new building. We have lots of floor space. If you have a pad or a sleeping bag, you are more than welcome. We're going to have a light supper tonight about 6, and then do our nonviolence training and do a role play of our action plan for the Monday morning, and make the final plans. Actually, the plan isn't finalized yet. We always do that at the last minute. So you are invited to come join us tonight for supper in the evening, or come tomorrow morning and join us at the gate. That is the first thing that we have on the agenda. And then on Tuesday, we have, just so I'm accurate here, Tuesday at noon, we will be vigiling with Joe Colgan at the Federal Building here in Seattle. Joe has been there every day, every Tuesday, for many, many years now. And it's from noon until 1. That's at the Federal Building at 2nd and Madison, just up the hill. Wednesday at noon, we will be vigiling in front of the Federal Building in Tacoma, and that will be prior to the sentencing in federal court of Lynn Greenwald. Lynn crossed the line. There's a blue line painted on the pavement if you haven't been to Bangor, and anyone who steps over that blue line is considered trespassing on federal property. So Lynn is accused and has been found guilty of doing that. Lynn, would you please just let people see who you are? We will be vigiling outside of the Federal Building in Tacoma at noon, prior to Lynn is scheduled to be sentenced at 1:30. Then on Wednesday evening, here in Seattle, at First United Methodist Church of Seattle at 180 Denny, just up here, close to where we are, we will be welcoming a delegation of Japanese nuclear abolitionists who have been in New York and they're on their way home. And they are stopping here and spending 3 days with us in the Seattle area. So Wednesday evening at 7:30, we will be hosting that delegation at the First United Methodist Church at 180 Denny. Public invited. Please come. Meet them, hear their story. Then Thursday at 12:30 in Tacoma, we will be at the University of Washington Tacoma campus. And at that campus, the same delegation from Japan will be meeting the public and telling their story there. It will be in the Milgard Room, Phillip Hall on Pacific Avenue on the campus, Tacoma campus of the University of Washington. And then Thursday, well, hey, I guess that's enough. That's a lot of events coming up. And if we could bilocate and be at all of them, it would be wonderful. So remember, I urge you to join us tomorrow morning. And I realize it's early. We will provide breakfast, and for those that are going to be risking arrest, we have time after that to spend at Ground Zero Center. We welcome you to the grounds, and we hope that you can make it. We hope that you can be with us with our signs and to show that nuclear weaponry is unacceptable. Unacceptable. In particular, unacceptable in Kitsap County, in Washington State, in the United States of America, in the world. Amen.